Hello everybody, my name is Jeff and welcome back to Chefin' with Chefry. Tonight we're making shepherd's pie. So traditionally shepherd's pie is made with ground lamb, but tonight we're going to be using some ground beef. And then I'm going to be cooking it with some onions and some garlic. I'm going to put a layer of corn in between the beef and the potatoes, but then I'm going to make some mashed potatoes with some buttermilk and some butter and the extra potato from the other night with the beef stew. Found a spot for it. And in the mashed potatoes we're going to put some Parmesan cheese, Montalban cheese. It's got goat, cow, and sheep's milk in it, so it's got a little bit of a funkiness to it, but it's delicious. I'm gonna do some potatoes. I'm gonna get the pot going, and these are gonna take the longest. So I like to leave the skin on for some texture in the mashed potatoes. It's because last time I used russets and they got really starchy and seized up. It wasn't very good. So I'm gonna cut these potatoes in quarters, where they cook faster. My mom made a version of shepherd's pie when we were growing up, and she put it in a pie crust. It was actually pretty good, but I'm not a huge fan of pie crust for some strange reason. Never were able to figure that one out. Oh man, I left my phone in my pocket. Whoops.
How many potatoes?
I did probably about half the bag of the red potatoes. And since this one's bigger, I'm gonna say it was about 6 or 7. Give them a good rinse. Get some of the starch off. Just make sure they're nice and clean.
What happens if it's too starchy?
Well, if it's too starchy, we're gonna be using a hand mixer to mash the potatoes, because we don't have a potato masher, so we're gonna be using the hand mixer to mash these. And if you do it too fast at too high of a speed, then you'll get really starchy, globby potatoes, and it's not very yummy. So I'm gonna pour these into the water. Oops, I got water everywhere. And I'm gonna add some salt to it. Salt, season everything. Potatoes need a lot of salt. Turn it on and just let it do its thing. Now we're waiting for while we're waiting for that to go, I'm gonna cut up this onion here. I'm gonna dice it today. It's a sweet onion. Just like that. I'm gonna do a medium to small dice on this. And the way I dice an onion isn't the fancy way. Take my phone out of my pocket so you don't hear any more notifications. Oh, it's Jessica getting on Twitch. By the way, follow my sister on Twitch. She's Jessicers07. She's pretty good.
JESSIKERZ07.
Correct. Twitch, she plays Call of Duty and a few other games. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do about a medium dice. So instead of doing it the weird way, or the way you're supposed to, I'm gonna just do it this way. I slice just like this, and then I'll go like this here. I mean, this shape's not gonna be super uniform, but it's going into a casserole-y kind of dish anyway, so it's not gonna make that much of a difference. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the pot going, or the pan. Pour in some olive oil. I'm following this recipe that I got. They start with the onions and then they're gonna add the beef in after that and cook and brown the beef. Usually I do beef first, but I guess this gives the onions more time so they're not as crunchy and they'll have more flavor. While everything's starting to warm up and start to boil, I'm gonna preheat the oven to about 400 degrees. Because what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna heat up the top of the potatoes really well and get it nice and crusty with the melted cheese and stuff, and it's delicious. Now this delicious cheese here, just gonna open that up while we're waiting for that to get warm. I'm gonna pour the onions in once the oil heats up. But you got this wax on the outside, you wanna cut that off. You don't have to go in too far, just enough to where you don't see the wax anymore. Like that.
What is the base of the cheese again?
Goat milk, sheep's milk, and cow's milk.
And you don't even like goat cheese, but you
No,
love
I don't.
this.
It just has just a little bit of that goat cheese flavor. That's really good. Now I'm gonna grate this into a bowl so I don't have to get it all over my cutting board. Doesn't matter what you grate it to. You can just do the regular grating, and then you can smell this cheese. It smells really good. I'm gonna use all of the cheese because we love cheese around here. Now I'm gonna put in the onion because we're starting to smoke here. It's got some heat to it. Look at that. Got some pretty cheese there. Wanna try it, camera lady? Or at Whoa You Guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try a piece too.
I'm not Jessica's, by the way. I'm Whoa You Guys. He has two sisters.
I'm older and younger. I'm stuck in the middle. Lucky me. Do a pound at about 2 pounds. Look at that. I'm pretty sure this is 80-20. I'm not 100% sure. It looks good because they grind it in store at Whole Foods. It's pretty good. Let these go just a minute longer. So we're already starting to get some color. Go ahead and get this ready for the taters.
Did you tell them what that was yet?
What? Well, I don't know if I told you this. This is buttermilk. It's from a local area, local dairy farm. It's good stuff. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add in the ground beef. Don't need that anymore. No, what a shame. And you'll just break that up. Remember, it's cast iron, so in order to touch it, you gotta have protection. Jeez, onions are flying everywhere. I'll turn this back up some. Now's where the fun stuff starts to happen. Let this go for a minute. I'm actually gonna take my garlic now, and I'm gonna get that going. I'm prepared, son. Now I'm gonna save one of these cloves for the mashed potatoes because I'm gonna melt some butter in a pot, and I'm gonna cook the garlic in the butter a little bit so it's not so harsh in the potatoes. This should be a fun, easy thing. I think, I'm trying to remember about how much this cost me. I think it's about probably close to 30 bucks, 30, 40 bucks, depending on where you go and where you shop. This can feed probably easily a family of 4 because it's a very, with seconds, it's a very filling dinner because of the potatoes, the corn, the beef.
And for people that like small portions, probably 6 people.
Right, agreed. 6 people for sure. And I'm gonna go ahead and peel this one so it's ready to roll when I need it. I'm gonna go ahead and smash this one too because I feel like it's the garlic. The garlic's done. Come back over here to the beef. Check on it. And I almost touched it without the towel. That would have been kind of dumb. Get in there, flip it over. Get it moving around. Man, I'm a messy cook. Mom was right. So I'm gonna go ahead and season it up a little bit. I'm gonna use some salt, pepper, of course, as always, freshly ground. We'll make it a little coarser. Season every layer, bake the big difference. I'm gonna add some garlic and onion powder as well. Probably a teaspoon or two of each. And then a little bit of garlic salt. Give it a good mix again. Trying to use stuff we have around the house. It depends on what you usually buy, really. Because you can have a whole head of garlic and you only need like 3 or 4 cloves from it. Or you get a bag of onions, you can use that. Like I got canned sweet corn, like you have canned goods. Just try and raid your pantry every now and then and see if you can find something that you can whip up and be different instead of having the same thing over and over again. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, this will be our 3rd time having this because it's so yummy. Now the oven's preheated, that's good. That'll be ready to go when we need it. I'm gonna give the potatoes a good stir.
And if you're short on time, they could totally use some instant mashed potatoes.
You can totally use instant mashed potatoes, which we did. We did the 2nd time we used instant mashed potatoes, and it actually came out pretty good. It all depends on the brand, though.
And you have more creative freedom when you use actual potatoes.
That's why I wanted to be more creative tonight and use the butter and the buttermilk and the garlic and the parmesan cheese. Because it's delicious. Judge me. I put a little Mountain Dew Baja Blast in here with a shot of vodka. Because I want the caffeine and I want the liquor.
You can tell by which one is moving.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do. A cheat way to check your potatoes, it's not really a cheat way, is take a fork and you can try and stab a potato, and if it falls off, that means they're done. And if it sticks like that, that means they're not ready yet. So we'll let that roll some more. Check the beef again. Now for the mashed potatoes, what I'm going to do, I think I already said it earlier, but I'm going to take this butter. We had to get a pound brick because they were all out of the stick, so I cut it into normal sized pieces so it wasn't just a huge honking piece. So I'm going to put this in here, turn that on. What I'm going to do is melt down the butter, put a clove of garlic in it. That way it cooks the garlic some and it's not so harsh, makes your nose burn. So I want to take this opportunity to ask y'all if y'all have anything that you want to suggest or have me cook. That would be really cool because sometimes I run out of ideas. This beef's good. Now what I'm going to do is while this is browning still, I'm going to add in some Worcestershire sauce. Take off the top. I know there's not very much in here. So I got another bottle. That was about a teaspoon worth. I'm going to do probably another teaspoon's worth. Well, this one doesn't have that thing. Oh, it's thicker too. Wow. Oh, I was about to put that back in the cabinet. We'll mix that. We'll go ahead and add my garlic in as well. We'll go ahead and add some dry thyme. Dry rosemary. Gonna do probably about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. And rosemary, I'm gonna do a little less because to me, rosemary has more of a, it's still delicious, but it's just got a harsher flavor. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon. And then I'm gonna do some dried parsley. I'm gonna do about a tablespoon or 2 of that as well. I don't know why they put parsley in these things. Like, I get that you can do this, but parsley doesn't fit through that. Unbelievable. I will give this a good stirry stir. Oh, you can smell it. It smells good. Let this go a couple more minutes. This is a lot of beef. Way more than I thought it was going to be. So the butter's boiling, I'm just going to turn that off, let it finish melting. I'm going to check my potatoes again. Oh yeah, they're getting really close now. Or some of them are more done than others. See how that one slid off? That one slid off. And it all depends on if you like your potatoes chunky or not. But I like chunky potatoes. I'm going to let them go another minute and then I'm going to strain them off in the sink. Strainer. Oh, hi. I thought you weren't filming. That's cool.
I'm filming.
Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tomato paste. This time I'm actually going to use half the can, not the full thing. Because you don't want too much of this in there. This is also to help bind it. Give it flavor. Make sure you mix it all in. Because you don't want a clump of tomato paste. Last time I didn't have tomato paste and we had some leftover pretty bland pizza sauce, so I used that instead. And it actually came out pretty good, but it didn't thicken up as much as this one with the tomato paste did. Love Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Whenever it comes out, I go through a lot. My boss.
And that's the zero sugar one.
Yeah. I talked to my boss today at work, and she said I should do an episode of me a little bit more buzzed or was feeling real good.
She wants you to be vibing.
She wants me, yeah. So Allison made me do it. She told me to say that. Nothing wrong with feeling good, having fun while you're cooking. Does not need to be stressful in any sort of way. It's only as stressful as you make it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some flour. This will help thicken it up. I'm going to do probably a couple tablespoons. 1, 2. And I've done a lot of measuring, so I feel pretty confident in my measuring skills. Make sure you use measuring spoons and such. This will help.
Unless you're trying to take a chance.
Unless you're taking a chance. You can see how thick it's getting. It's like thickening up some. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to add some beef stock. I'm going to do half a cup first. That's probably a little bit more than half a cup. But then you'll see it thicken up and bind up some. I'm going to turn these potatoes off as well. You can see how the sauce is getting thick and bubbly. So I'm going to add a little bit more, not super liquidy, but just enough to keep it kind of loose so it's not a glob.
It's juicy and not dry.
Right. Very important. And no, I didn't strain the beef. I'm going to take my taters. Just be careful, make sure it's not hot first, then I'm going to strain them. I'll let that strain for a second. I'm going to pour them into a bowl. You don't want to use a hand mixer in a non-stick pan because you will ruin it. Attach these things. Just make sure you put the right one where it's supposed to go, where it's not going to fit. Because this one has that means it stops right here. There we go. That's ready to roll. Oh my God! How's that for a blooper? That was beautiful. And now we'll make sure all the water comes out of that. Never try to catch a knife that is falling, or you will cut yourself. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I'm gonna do buttermilk first. So sometimes potatoes are a little different. Sometimes they'll need more liquid than others. Do a cup first. Potatoes absorb. I'm gonna do a cup and a half. Potatoes absorb a lot of liquid and a lot of salt. So I'm gonna add in some more salt, pepper. A few grains of that. A few grains of this. If you don't want black specks in your potatoes, feel free to use white pepper. It's a little more strong, so you're gonna want to do a little bit less. Pour in the garlic butter. Make sure all the garlic's mingled in there. Pour that in like that. I'm gonna pour it all in. So who doesn't like butter, right? Then the lowest setting you can do, because if you over whip it, it's all over. Come together pretty nice there. So now what I'm gonna do,
Taste it.
taste it. I know you want to taste it too. Here's your spoon.
Thank you.
Oh, I dripped. And here's my spoon. Oh, those are perfect on the first try. I'm proud of myself. You don't want to add too much salt to it because the cheese you're adding to it, like the Parmesan cheese and the Montalban, that's how you say it, I don't know, I'm sorry. Those are going to be a little bit salty. And I'm going to mix that in by hand just so I don't over whip it. This is something different I'm doing this time.
What's that?
Parmesan.
Did you tell them about it?
Yeah. This is hand grated in store. I'm going to do a couple tablespoons worth of that because it's salty, and then I'm going to do a lot of this one. Save some for the topping. Just gonna mix it in real good. Let it melt. And its wonderful flavor all throughout the mashed potatoes. You can see it's still a little chunky and the skin's still on it. And I think that's perfect.
Gordon Ramsay
He would hate
might
it.
have an issue with that, but we love it.
Oh my God. These are bomb mashed potatoes. Now what we typically like to do is either don't have to do this, is bread or cornbread with it. on the side. So what you're gonna do now is flatten it out. Why is this one fighting me?
It's a weird can opener.
You don't want your corn water in your shepherd's pie. Pour it all on top. And don't feel bad for using canned corn. Make a nice layer of it. And if you want to get fancy, you don't have a piping bag, you can totally grab a freezer bag, put the potatoes in first, and then cut the corner, and then you can pipe it on and make a nice spiral on it. I just like it globbed on there. These potatoes are perfect tonight. Don't be shy with the potatoes. Now I'm going to take these and spread them on top. And then if you want, you can do this so you can make some more surface area for it to brown. So I'm going to put it on a sheet pan because we all know that this is not all going to stay in here. You can already see it overflowing. But then put that on the pan so it doesn't overflow in your oven and make a huge mess. Throw it in. Let it roll go for about 15-20 minutes and see where it gets you. Like I said before, did I ever say that? I don't know. But nobody's judging you. Got leftover potatoes, feel free to eat them.
Nobody needs to know.
Nobody needs to know, it's your little secret. Just starting to do some dishes and heard a weird, the whole countertop started shaking. I was like, what the hell? No, the fork wasn't in it. It was the potato. There's typically a rule in some houses that if you cook, you don't have to do dishes. That's fine and dandy and all, but clean as you go still, just so when everybody's fat and happy.
We don't have to do them.
That way you can just relax and actually enjoy the meal and not stress about doing dishes afterwards.
I already know people are going to comment, poor Jeffrey.
I'm doing everything. Why can't they do anything? Oh, I still got potato in here. So, when you're cleaning your knife, please, for the love of God, don't soak it. Don't put it in the dishwasher because it will rust. And if you clean it right after you use it, nothing sticks to it. Crazy concept. Yeah, look at that nice, pretty clean knife there. I'm showing this side because this side has some marks on it from me trying to sharpen it. Hey folks, that is why I put it on a pan. Got myself another drink. It's a mule without being in the copper glass. And I ran out of lime juice, so I used lemon juice.
And we have mango vodka.
And mango vodka.
It's a
tropical.
What is the mix between the donkey and the horse?
A mule.
Oh Jesus, no. That's
perfect. You're leaving that in.
It's a zebra. It's a zorse.
All right, now we're gonna go into the oven. We'll take a gander at that. We'll get it out of here.
Carefully.
Very carefully. You do not want to splash that oil on you. Just look at that already. You can see the texture, like starting to get a little bit of a hard shell on the outside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top to help bring out that flavor. So you can hear it hitting. You hear that? Oh, that's beautiful. It's what you want. Parmesan cheese. Now with the rest of the other cheese, don't forget about the edges. Everyone loves cheese, including the edges. Slide it back in the oven. I'm gonna let it cook so it can melt the cheese for about 5 minutes. And then I'm gonna broil it. So the cheese is starting to melt. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on broil on high, but I'm going to watch it the whole time. So with the presentation on this one, it's gonna be a little iffy, because it's not solid like a pie usually is and you can't just cut out a triangle. So what we're gonna end up doing is taking a before shot when it's done, and then we're gonna try and get it out as nice and neat as possible to get it on the plate. But it ain't gonna be pretty, you're just gonna have to bear with us. Look at it, you can see the cheese starting to brown on top. Let's see, the burner's all the way on right now, so now it's when it's gonna be detrimental that you do this correctly. That. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off because it's all the way on. And now it's gonna start cycling off and it won't overdo itself. It's gonna be a good one. This might be the best one yet. Now the broiler's turning off and it's being perfectly crisped. It looks so good. I wish y'all could have some. Like I said before, when you are done or you're cooking, please use the hashtag #ChefandWithChefry on Instagram. And now I'm gonna take it out And you can see it in all of its wonderful glory. Tell me who doesn't like that. Come on now. I'm proud of that one. Yeah, you're gonna see me take some pictures. Follow me on Instagram, chefin_with_cheffery.
And you've seen it first. Well,
and you will see it first.
Maybe.
Maybe. Should I get the handle in it? I forgot. I got some fresh thyme left from the other night. So you can add some nice little pizzazz on top. Look at that.
Woohoo.
Isn't that pretty?
I like it. It looks like a little branch.
All right, so I'm gonna let you come along with this process because I know it's not gonna be too pretty. I just want to show you that I tried.
You got
a little spoon. Oh man.
Yeah.
Got a spoon here. So I'm gonna try to be as clean as possible. Come on. Let me do this first. Let me cut into it like this. We'll try and cut it out in a pie shape. Look at the. Oh man. See how it just messed everything up?
Look at the edge. Oh my god.
Make sure you get all that in.
All that cheese.
Get all that in there. So now, go in for the scoop. And the potatoes fell apart.
Oh.
This is, oh, wow.
Oh.
See, I tried. Some things just aren't meant to be presented. And this is one of them.
They're just meant to be eaten.
They're just meant to be eaten. Sorry I didn't present very well. So now, take a good bite here. Got some corn, got the beef. It's hot as hell. Why am I cussing? I'm sorry. But here we go.
Whoa.
That's the best one yet.
Would you say you like the red potatoes better than russets?
I personally do. All right, so thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. This is the kind of stuff I love to cook. Stuff that can go into one pan, you make less dirty dishes, and this is super easy to do for your family. And they will love it. If they don't, I don't know what to tell you. But thanks for watching Cheffery with Cheffery. Please like and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram.